is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad. Oh, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. For this is the day the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad. I'm learning something. I'm learning something right now. The thing that I'm learning is it's really easy to complain. It's so easy to complain. But complaining is a trap. It is a trap to get you to lose focus. Complaining is like when Peter was out there walking on water. Peter was good as long as he kept his eyes on the Lord. But when he started focusing on everything that was going on around him, Peter's like, all right, I'm a little bit far from the boat now. Okay. Uh, Somehow I'm walking on top of this water, so I'm not quite sure how that's happening. And then it's kind of wind going on right now. And so he started paying attention to everything that he had going on around him instead of what was right in front of him, the very Savior of all humanity. And that's what complaining is like. Complaining is like God is doing all of these things for you. And as long as you keep your focus on him, you're going to be good. But when you start to look at, well, this over here is not right. This could be better. And I'm not even sure how I'm still afloat in this actual situation, in this test, in this trial. I'm not sure how I'm still standing. But I'm finding that if you want to beat complaining and negativity, you can start off with the praise. The Bible says, let everything that hath breath praise the Lord. Jesus, while he was going into Jerusalem, he was told by religious leaders, hey man, you need to shut your followers up. They out here, talking about Hosanna and doing all of that stuff. You need to keep them calm because this ain't right. This ain't appropriate. But Jesus told him, he said, well, look, if they don't say it, if they don't give me the praise, the rocks, the creation, the thing that I have created, it's going to give me the praise. And so that's a message. That's a message. That's, what's that? 3 minutes. That's a 3-minute message for you. Stop complaining. Complaining, it does not change the situation. What needs to change is not the situation. If that situation don't never change, if your perspective changes, all right, okay, I can't get no help in here. I can't get no help on YouTube. But I said if your perspective changes, how many know that the situation can get worse? But when you have that confidence, I'm cooking already. When you have that confidence in God and you know that God got me. I'm going through situations right now. I can complain about it. I literally hit live. I hit the go live button and I had a complaint. But the Holy Spirit said, I bet you won't. And I said, I bet I won't either. Not after the day that we had, that worship experience that we had yesterday in church. The Lord met me at the altar. And so I don't have no complaints. I'm refocused. I'm refocused. But I did want to talk about something in specific. I want to talk about how I just saw the airman too. When I was leaving out of the clinic, he was going into the clinic. And this airman, he's a young black man. He's got a lot of promise. He don't have anybody necessarily telling him that he's got a lot of promise. So I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna pull him to the side. I'm gonna be like, look, man, I want to help you put together a commissioning package. And I know you like, I don't want to be no officer. I don't want to do that. But I could see it. Like a lot of times people don't even see themselves like others see them. But this dude, he got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of potential. And the thing is he doesn't have anybody to really push him. He's made some mistakes. What young person hasn't made mistakes? And so we're not gonna hold them mistakes against him. We're gonna hope that he has learned from his lessons, and we're gonna push him. We're gonna get behind him. We're gonna celebrate him. Because I hear a lot of chief master sergeants, which is the highest enlisted rank in the Air Force, that tell me, if you would have told their peers back when they were an E2, an E3, and E4 that one day they would be an E9, none of them would believe me. And so I want to, deposit and impart goodness to this young man, because I noticed something about the military. The military is really good for putting people into boxes and categories. I notice it. And I know I'm not tripping, because in my experience, I can only speak from my experience. It seems like they put a lot of AAs into this career field and its command support staff. And the structure of that command support staff is awful, because they go into an organization where often there's not a lot of enlisted people. And so how do you develop good airmen? Well, you have to model what a good airman looks like. Well, what happens when you don't have a lot of airmen? Well, then you have airmen that may turn out good and some airmen that may turn out bad. But it really just all depends, and it's kind of left up to chance. And so I saw this young man, this young airman. Let me listen to the situation. So there's something called a static closeout date. And static closeout date is the day that your performance report is due. That's the day that your performance report is due. And a performance report is basically, hey, covering this year period, this is how this person performed. This is how they helped out around the unit. This is how they utilized resources. There's a bunch of different categories that they have to speak to. But I noticed a very interesting situation with this airman. This airman completed an entire rating period, but did not have a current PT score. PT score is a physical training test. They didn't have that. And so when he didn't have that, that automatically meant this performance report is going to be a referral report. And what a referral report means is that this is derogatory information that goes into your permanent record. Now, was this guy just a dirtbag? Let's see what I'm gonna do right here. Okay. Okay. All right. You go ahead and have a seat, sir. So what do you think about all the unconstitutional stuff the president and stuff are doing? Now, Dylan Little, that's a trap. That question that you just asked me, that is a surefire way to get an Article 18. Not an 18, Article 88. But what I can do is I can maybe not necessarily directly answer that question, but I do have a copy of the Constitution that I just so happen to carry on myself. And I can read that Constitution and I can just say, gives you maybe it gives you a little pause, a little room for concern. But that's neither here nor there. That's not really germane to the topic. I do actually want to get on and read the Constitution. So maybe if you subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to all of them. Maybe you can be in touch with the channel when I do get off on that Constitution. A lot of people think they know the Constitution, but a lot of people don't. The Constitution is a decent sized document. There's a bunch of different articles. There's a bunch of sections, and there's amendments. And so I think there's 27 amendments. The last one was like in 1990s or something. But it's a bunch of information. But anyway, back to the kid. This kid ended up getting a report that's going to stay in their files for the entirety of their military career. And it's really due to something that should have been preventable. So why was the airman non-current on their PT test? Did the airman not know that you have to take a PT test? All of these things are like obvious questions and obvious answers. Like, yes, the airman knew that you had to take a PT test. Was the airman tracking that it was going to be a problem if they didn't have their PT test? Probably not. But this is what young people do. You're like, well, that's your job. Do you know every regulation and every requirement on your job? That's correct. A lot of people are not educated. I don't know every requirement on my job. Even in my current job, I do not know, because there's so many regulations and so little time given to you. You would have to probably use your free time to get all of that information. And anybody knows me, anybody that's been here in this live before knows I'm not about using my free time to do work related stuff, because we're busy. We have a life. We have to have a life. It can't be all work and no play. And so if you want me to know it, you're going to have to put it right in front of me. And if it's not important, why? Let's ask the question, why is it actually written down? Maybe it is important. Maybe it's just not that important to me. And if it is important, maybe it should be highlighted. But anyway, the whole thing that I'm getting after is that this kid was penalized, but on every individual in the Air Force has what's called a rater, a supervisor. So for me, my question was not what happened to this kid, but what happened to this supervisor, because the supervisor should be getting some sort of paperwork as well. If we're going to punish this young airman for not being a good airman, I think the supervisor needs to hold some accountability in that as well. But I guarantee you, nothing happened to that supervisor, because in all likelihood, that supervisor was probably a chief master sergeant. But something should have absolutely happened. Like there's no way to fudge the system or hey, let's go ahead and take this PT test and let's backdate it. There's no way to do that, right? Does things like that happen in the military? Yes, it does. Is it right? No, it's not. But then what you have is a discrepancy in treatment. And I said I wasn't going to complain today, and I'm not complaining. I'm just highlighting an example of how inequitable treatment still impacts airmen today. And it's frustrating on my part, because it's like, oh, your rank insulates you from having any consequences in this scenario, but it shouldn't. Like, what is the impact on that airman when they see, well, I got jammed up, but nothing really happened to anybody else? But it's not my responsibility to tell you to make sure that you have taken your PT test. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. It starts from the top up, as Dylan Little said. And so while we out here, passing out paperwork, let's not forget to hold ourselves accountable. Because I don't think I've ever had a situation where an airman or someone of mine that I rated on did not have a PT test in time for their performance report. It just, because why? We're talking about it. We're talking about it. And we're covering our airmen. We're not airmen up for failure. Because is the airman perfect? No. Does the airman make mistakes? Yes. Does the airman have potential? Absolutely. But there's a crisis of leadership that we're experiencing. There's absolutely a crisis of leadership that's going on right now. I mean, you talk about from the top down, Dylan Little. And I know you picking up what I'm putting down. but there's a crisis of leadership, and we gotta get better at looking in the mirror and not just this is what you did wrong and this is why you're not going anywhere and this is why you're a dirtbag. But we got to get better at holding all people accountable. I too got jammed up for something. Like, is it my responsibility? Should I, with this many years in the military, know better? Okay, you can say that, but am I the only person that is held accountable? Like, shouldn't leaders be responsible for tracking things as well? I don't know. I see it happen. I see it happen to others, and then I see it happen to me. It's weird. I said, well, it looks like we got some type of trend problem. So I don't know. Leadership needs more training. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you, Dylan, Little, because the thing is everybody has this thing where it's, oh, leaders are born. Leaders are not born. Leaders are developed. Leaders are developed. No, it sounds good to say you're a natural born leader. No. Let me tell you where that has roots in. When I hear natural born leader, probably this is from my lens. Y'all are here because you looking through my lens. When I hear natural born leader, I hear elements of supremacy. That's what I hear. I've never had natural born leader attached to me. Never had it attached to me. Natural born leader. Some people, maybe they look like me, maybe they have it attached to them. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But the thing that I'd like to do is I would like to be that person that fills in the gaps. I was in a situation where I was put into a position where I was told that I was going to be the executive officer of a unit. And I came up there and I just observed, like, these airmen are not getting any attention from this 06. You have a master sergeant and you have a senior airman. And this 06 either doesn't have the time, which is baloney because it does, or doesn't have the motivation to get involved with these people, to know what's going on in their lives. And this is why, like, somebody said it, but people don't quit jobs, they quit people. You got a lot of people that get out of the Air Force early. A lot of times they quit people because you can do some suck jobs. You can do some absolutely suck jobs. But depending on the flavor, the vibe of the unit, suck jobs cannot be that bad based on who's there. Some of my jobs that suck the most, it's like, well, we in this suck together and we care for each other so much. The people to my left and right, my teammates, it doesn't matter because we're in it together and we have each other. And so I absolutely think that leaders need more training. But the crazy thing is you can train, like, literally, we're at a leadership school. So how much training, you know what I mean? How much training are you gonna get? Like, literally, you're teaching people how to be leaders. So I don't think it's a skill thing. I think it's a will issue. Like, they just look at this young man and they see somebody that looks different from them, and so they don't have necessarily the motivation to get in there and get involved. But I see the young man. I actually want to take him. I don't want to be weird or nothing like that. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, you being weird, you showing favoritism, you this and that. Like, no, I see this cat. I see him. I see him. He reminds me a lot of me. Like, you in an organization and you feel isolated and you just there trying to do your best, and people don't appreciate you, and people got stuff to say about you. They won't help you. They won't tell you. Feedback is this, like, we literally have a lesson on criticism, feedback, effective feedback and highly effective feedback. We literally have that in our coursework. But yet, when it comes time to execute, there's this saying that those that can't do, teach. Hey, Dylan Little said, I'm a private contractor through Department of Defense. There's a lot of stuff leadership needs to change. Because I'm like, how do these people get a job in leadership? Y'all need to pass an offering plate around for Dylan Little. Dylan Little is preaching. He's preaching up in here. How did this person get a job in leadership? I had a leader that literally had, like, this was that leader's 5th opportunity in leadership. And the leader was still hot garbage. How in the world does someone get 5 opportunities to be hot garbage? No. You get 1 opportunity to fail. You get 1 opportunity to fail. And I don't care how hard up we are for leaders. We'll put a lower ranking person in there that is motivated and let them do the job. Because I guarantee you, Dylan Little, the people that you're talking about, like how did they get in leadership? This is the thing, and you picked a good place to be at, Dylan Little. A contractor, that's a great place to be at. A great place to be at. Maybe like benefits and all of that stuff. All right, sure, I gotta take care of that or whatever. But like, there's pros and cons to that situation. Feedback is the key to everything. And I'll go a step further. The military, when they changed their performance reports, they put something in there for emotional intelligence. There's never been a time in the military where emotional intelligence was taught. There's never been a time in the military where we had training on emotional intelligence development. But it is on this performance report, and we are to be reviewed by our rater for feedback. They're supposed to review us, and they're supposed to assess how we are in terms of emotional intelligence. Now, let me ask you a question. If we've never been trained on this thing, how are we supposed to be effectively evaluated on it? Number 2, if it's important, why weren't we trained on it? You can tell how important something is by how much time you give to it. If we didn't give any time to it, it's not really important. It's lip service, and it comes off as hollow. Okay, so it's just tinkling cymbals. It's just noise. It's background noise. See, guys, yes, we're emotionally intelligent because see, somebody put that on the performance report because people were killing themselves, and we had to get after it because there's probably someone that said, leadership when they're man, my hand's shaking. I'm getting inspired. I'm getting fired up because the big bosses weren't really trained in leadership. There you go. There you go. Like, we have leadership schools, so we should be better leaders, right? Especially this is the thing about in officer land. They have professional military education, and leadership is an emphasis at every level. At the basic level, at the primary, preliminary, primary, at the intermediate, and at the advanced level or the senior level. Leadership is always in there. But they're not sending everyone through these schools. For your primary developmental education, every captain goes through, right? But for your intermediate, a small percentage of them go through. How do you determine who goes through or who ends up going? A lot of that determination goes to who was cited as a distinguished graduate. What is a distinguished graduate and what goes into that? I'm glad you asked. Distinguished graduate, if you ask me, is very subjective. It's biased, and it's not good. It's not good. And I can say that after being in it, in that process for an entire year. It's not good. Like I used to, like when I went through my primary developmental education, SOS, Squadron Officer School, I thought it was baloney. I thought it was Captain Camp. But after instructing in it, I believe in the mission. The execution sometimes suffers depending on who you have there. So the pool is made up of OIRSD, Officer, Instructor, Recruiter, Special Duty Assignment Airmen. That this is a special duty assignment. They volunteered, some of them, to actually come to this location and to teach here because they wanted to be here. Then you have others who just finished an entire year at a leadership institution and they took on a fellowship. And as part of that fellowship, they were responsible to teach in Squadron Officer School. Those are two different, those are actually three very different categories. Because you have some people that want to be here. Then you have some people that are here that did not ask to be here. And then you have some people that are here and should they be here is a question. Like you're here, but should you? I feel like graduates of Air Command and Staff College should go on to teach at Air Command and Staff College. Because my experience, and I've only seen 2 classes, so it's a very limited and very subjective review and opinion. But my experience has been that many of those that graduate from Air Command and Staff College come to Squadron Officer School and hold airmen to an Air Command and Staff College level, as opposed to a Squadron Officer School. Now, what does that mean? You're holding me to a higher standard because a lot of them are teaching, well, this is the standard that we did in Air Command and Staff College. Well, that's fine, and that's great. But you have to understand, on this hierarchy, on this taxonomy or whatever you call it, there's different levels of what we want to learn and what we want to accomplish. Now, at the lower levels is the understand, and maybe you get applied. At those higher levels, which is where you are in Air Command and Staff College, you want a deeper understanding, a deeper knowledge. You want to be able to synthesize information. That is not the level of Squadron Officer School. But many of my peers from ACSC hold them to this unrealistic level. And so you have some people that are being graded differently. And you also have this process where, depending on how you grade as an instructor, it can determine how your students fare in their overall academic outcome. And all I'll say is there's a bunch of different factors that go into distinguished graduate. And so the Air Force ends up selecting, based off of all of those factors, distinguished graduates. Typically, those distinguished graduates from SOS are going to go on and to attend the next level of professional military education in residence. So, first level, everyone goes. Second level, a percentage, I think it's like 20% or something, of majors go. And then as you go up in rank, less and less go. That percentage gets lower and lower. And so this is how you get your cream of the crop leaders, allegedly. Dylan says, just like say you are a CEO, you do not have the training to be the president of a country or anything like that. Yeah, all of this is on-the-job training. I don't care what you've been a part of. There's nothing that prepares you to be the president of the United States. It's nothing. And so people get up there and say, if I'm elected as president, man, you don't know what you're going to do. You have no idea. The only people that know is people that did it already. And based on the Constitution, They can only do it X amount of times. It's under my eye. But I think that is the challenge, because the ones that go into leadership are the ones that may be academically smart. But knowing something and actually executing something is two different things. Two different things. I started talking about emotional intelligence. I have had a string of emotionally idiotic leaders. But the funny thing is all of those leaders were required to write on me and to rate me on my emotional intelligence. My question to you, chat, because we engage in here. Thank you, Dylan, for being an engager. If I could give you some points, man, I would give you some points today. Bing, 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 bing. Because you've been engaging, and I appreciate you. And this is usually what we do as military. So I got you tucked in the memory bank. Dylan Little is a contractor. He's probably got some prior military experience, and he's gonna give me some good engagement when he come up in the room if I'm talking about something military. I appreciate you though. But I just my question is how can a person that's low on the emotional intelligence quotient evaluate effectively where people are in terms of their emotional intelligence? Because I had this dude, which I'll just say he had the emotional intelligence of a rock. He did not understand people. He did not understand how people worked. He didn't understand what motivated people. And he didn't, it's almost like maybe he did understand, maybe he didn't. He didn't care. He did not care. And leaders that don't care, they get people that are, like Marshawn Lynch used to say, I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm only showing up because I'm supposed to. It's the law. But I have no real investment into this organization, this team. It's like that video on my channel. So what? I'm supposed to kill myself for the team? What team? What movie is that? It's a great movie. Denzel Washington is in that movie. I think his name was Wood Harris. If it's not Wood Harris, it's Tip Harris. One of them. They brothers. There's two brothers. But remember the Titans. I'm supposed to kill myself for the team? What team? There is no team. Said, nah, I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to take care of me. Oh, that's a poor attitude. That's a poor attitude. Attitude reflects leadership. So how are you going to get in a military organization where we're talking about, hey man, the next 2 years, I'm venting right now. This is good. This is good. I feel it. I feel it. I'm not complaining. I'm venting. But in the military, and I'm passionate. That's so. A lot of times, this is what people would do. When the way you express your passion, because it comes off, depending on who's giving it, it comes off as passionate or angry. Passionate or angry. Typically, if it's a person that's viewed favorably, it's considered a positive trait. This is passion. Oh my gosh, there's so much passion. He's such a passionate leader. Why? Because it's string a bunch of curse words together and kicked over the desk and did all of these things that we told were not professional, but it's passion because this person is doing it. If I do the same behavior, he's unhinged or he's angry. And you picking up what I'm putting down. Let's not be silly. But man, I'm telling you, we're about to be in a situation where we're asking people to lay their life on the line. People will lay their lives on the line out of a sense of duty. D-U-T-Y. They will literally pursue a mission that we already know it's a lot of us that's not going to come back from this mission alive. A lot of us is going to end up in a box with some flags draped over it. But this is in support and defense of our great homeland and our concepts and ideals of freedom. And so we need you to go ahead and complete Mission X. If you got people in that unit, man, that's not bought in, I'm going to tell you, they're going to get somebody killed. They're going to get somebody killed. They probably going to get themselves killed, but they probably going to get somebody else killed as well. And the way to have that buy-in, man, I'm telling you, it's that leader. It's that person next to you. That person on your left and your right. This is why now you looking at Ukraine and that Russia situation. This is why they're having problems recruiting. I ain't bought into this. I'm not even sure I believe in this cause right now. Why am I about to go to these front lines and get myself blown up? For who? For what? What team? So I don't know. I think we get after like I don't know if it's a other service. I can't speak to the other services, but I can speak for the Air Force. I can speak to the Air Force. If you're selecting people basically because they have book smarts, you're gonna miss a lot of people. You're gonna miss a lot of good leaders. Because there's some people that have book smarts, but they have anxiety. They don't take tests well. They second guess themselves. They know the answer, but because even the way that we ask the question, it's a multiple choice. Sometimes, and I know why we do multiple choice, because it's very easy to grade. But sometimes you need to give an answer. Like the Army has these cats going on boards. We need to have these individuals that have been through the fire sit and listen to this young man or young woman speak to an issue, to a question that's raised. And we need to hear their thought processes. We're going to put in conjunction with their records, because we already know how we think about these individuals before they're coming before us. We have a ranking, but we need to know if hearing them and seeing them, they can change our mind. And so, I don't know. I think the way we get after leadership selection is not the right way. One piece of news: the chief of staff of the Air Force is retiring 2 years early. Like, it came out mid-August that, hey, this dude is retiring in September. I can't wait to read his book. I cannot wait to read his book. He came out here and he followed a transformational leader. General C.Q. Brown. Say what you want about him. General C.Q. Brown was an airman's leader. Just watching him, just engaging with him, and I had to like serve directly under General C.Q. Brown. But like after hearing him talk, I went to the AFA, listening to him talk. I just like, I'm gonna be real with y'all, to the two of y'all that's in this chat. There's differences between officers. And there's like, this individual was selected to be the #1 officer in the Air Force, and this individual was selected to be the #1 officer at the time in the Air Force. But these two are not the same. Both of them are the top candidate or the top selection, but they're not the same. I feel like CQ Brown is talking. I feel like I can get it done. I'm gonna go through this wall for you, sir. Jonathan Ulysses says, I'm in total agreement with what you're saying. Why none of Trump's sons in the Army? It's not just President Trump, though. If you of the representatives, hey, baby girl, how you doing? You need me? You need me? Do you need me? Okay. A lot of representatives, they don't to serve in any branch. That's obviously a place that I can speak to, because this is the only place that I've served. But I love the Air Force. with all of its imperfections. And that thing burned me up. When I hear somebody say love it or leave it, man, I can love my wife. Things that my wife does that she get on my nerves. So just because I say she got on my nerves don't mean I don't love her. It means she got on my nerves. There's things in the Air Force that get on my nerves. Okay? Doesn't mean I want to leave it. I'm telling you, this is how I feel about the Air Force. If they would keep taking this off and putting a higher rank on me, they would have to pull me out. They would have to drag me out. They drag me out the military because that's how much I love it. Hey, sir, you done now? And I'd be like, I can still serve. I still got more. It has been the pleasure of my life. My lifetime's pleasure has been to serve in this military. I love the military. I'm gonna share another thing. So every military academy or like military institution of education has a leader. That leader is called a commandant. Commandant, not a commander, but a commandant. I haven't looked that word up, but I'm gonna look that word up. But my commandant, the new one, he came there and he was talking to the students. His first time talking to the students, and he was also talking to the instructors. The instructors were told we had to stay there until he was done talking. I was gonna stay there regardless. You didn't have to tell me because I wanted to see what time he was on. And so he talked and he said something, and he said, "Our goal here is not to re-blue you. Anyone that has instructed like that is, I don't know. Maybe there's some instruct. I can't speak for other people. I can't speak for other people, but I can speak for me. Cap, respectfully, Cap, sir. That is literally why I'm here, and I want to talk to him about that. He said that thing long time ago, and my wife will tell you. I done talked about this. She tired of hearing about it. Why are we here for 5 weeks away from our loved ones and family and mission, if not to? Why are we here? What are we doing? What you got?
And my daddy Chauncey's decided to go to sleep and not finish his work, and I will play the computer now.
Are you all caught up?
I am currently finishing my last few homework assignments, but I don't really want to go through every single assignment.
Okay, so here's my question. It was a yes or no question. You giving me, yeah, no is the quick answer. How many assignments are you behind?
Only two right now.
I can live with that. I can live with that. Excellence says 0. Pretty good says 2.
And the only reason why I'm behind by 2 is because I don't want to go through all of my calculus assignments in exams in a single day.
That's fine.
It's not very smart.
That's fine. You don't want to burn all your brain power. Okay. All right. If he's not attending, that's up to him. He about to be going to JAG, though. I can tell you that much.
But I will say this. He did, however, he had 31, but now he only has 16 overdues.
Okay, so he almost did half.
I will say that.
A little more than half. Okay. All right. He still got work to do. All right. What's your average?
My average is currently a 91 right now.
Ooh.
It's a 91.
No. What's the expectation?
A 92. The only reason why
No. You need to get on that email with your teacher. Say, hey, I can't play my PC until I'm at a 92 average. That's the standard. Can you hurry up and grade this paper real quick so I can get back on my PC? Yeah. 92. Excellence. Excellence. Okay? Go do something else. I'm sorry, y'all. Just like law enforcement needs retraining. What you got?
Before you go, can I have my phone back for my sister, so I co-signed reading her iPad because I have her iPad.
All right. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to get into some family stuff, but I wanted to talk to. I just wanted to get that out. Like, man, leaders, leadership, the importance of leadership. It's so important. But he said that thing, man, and that thing. I'm not here to. We not. Our goal here is not to re-blue you. Like, all right, well, I call that a side quest. That's my side mission. All right, that's not the primary mission. I got side missions. That's the side mission. My side mission, every time I get through a class and I ask my students one-on-one in our conversations, we talking about it and they like, you know what, sir? Blah, 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 blah. Read blue. Mission accomplished. If one person says that for me, mission accomplished. I did good. Understand, I'm not going to reach all of them. Can't reach them all. Oh, well, I tried. Leadership needs to change. Yeah, it's a hard business. Leadership is a hard business. It's not one of those things like I feel like the people that are good leaders usually don't want to be the leader. I feel like if you want to be the leader, I'm looking at you. I'm like, what's your angle? What are you getting from this? You know? I don't know. But yeah, I don't like that how people get missed. The young man, he's got like a small stutter. And I think a lot of times stuttering is about confidence. But like who was giving him confidence since he's been in the military? I mean, y'all weren't even paying attention to him. And I see it. I see you, dog. I see you. Because people feel like, oh, well, you've been in the military for X amount of years, so you don't really need attention. That's okay. That's a cop out. That's you not doing your job. Know your people. Dropping leadership gems all over the place. I hope y'all are picking them up. I've done leadership, and I'm like, everything needs to change from the top. Yes, there's this book, and I haven't read it yet, but it's like Leave Alone. And the concept is like, all right, you might have a bad leader. Does that mean you have to be a bad leader? No, no, it doesn't. It's if you're a good leader, you will learn from your subordinates. I feel like a good leader doesn't have an ego where it's like, oh, what can you teach me? I'm your boss. I'm here to teach you. Nah, you don't have it all. You can learn some things. You can learn some techniques. But a lot of times it's that pride, it's that ego that will get in the way. In the leadership position, how dare you tell me and try to mentor me? I'm like, just listen, sir. Swallow your pride for a second. It's not about you. Leadership is not about that individual. Leadership is about the people they're leading. It's not even about the mission. Because the mission gets accomplished when you take care of the people. Literally, we say this. And you know what I'm about to say. Mission first, people always. Honestly, I think that's bad. I think that's bull. We need to be doing people first, mission always. We always on the mission. They told us 24/7, you on the clock. All right, you on duty. Always on parade. But when the people not good, that's when the people's falling out on parade. That's when they're breaking down. That's when order and discipline is breaking down because the people are not good. So take care of the people. And the mission is always going to get met. Always. People first, mission always. But who am I? I'm just a lowly major. No one asked. Okay? No one asked. You will not see me as a chief of staff of the Air Force. You might not even see me as a lieutenant colonel if, people have their way. Let me ask you this. Do you know why so many businesses fail and stuff? I don't. Tell me. That was cool. Excuse me. My bad, dog. Yeah, man. Y'all was saying y'all was cooking, but my battery died. I went on in the house and it's time to lay it down. Time to lay it down. I ain't even gonna lie to you. The leadership, the why so many businesses fail is because of leadership and how they run the business. I look at Target right now. Target is in trouble. Target is in big trouble. Big, 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 big trouble. And it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. What do you guys want? What should we do? You know what? Here's the thing. The president was, he kind of helped you guys go down that avenue of, getting rid of DEI. You followed suit. So now it's time to go to the president and ask for a bailout. That's what I would do. He probably would give you one. Target. We'll support you. But it's like I always say, you're on the wrong side. You gotta pick the right side. What is the right side? Trying to dam up like all of that progress and momentum. You trying to fight against progress, you're not going to succeed. It's literally all about progress. And so trying to find yourself in opposition to progress, you on the wrong side. You're going to lose every time. Every time. Like literally, look back, look behind you. You'll see a bunch of historical references that prove that. For better or for worse. It doesn't matter what you think in terms of is this progress or is this good. It's just the way life is. And so, I don't know, Target.
Daddy, he knew where it was.
Oh well.
He knew where the corner earlier was. He didn't bring it because look.
He knew what?
Where the corner
Oh, okay.
was.
Where's the password? Toss it over here.
He used it all up.
There you go. That's why. What's the password to the? Oh, not mine. Don't disregard everything I was just asking. I was literally getting ready to ask you what's the Wi-Fi password while I'm on live. So don't.
I'll text it to you.
No, just put it in here. You just put it in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that works. But yeah, I would legit if I was Target and the new CEO. I'm like, hey, bro. So we kind of follow suit because we in between the rock and the hard place. If Target is getting any type of federal funding, I don't think they are, but if they are, their federal funding was supposed to allegedly at risk if they maintain these DE&I initiatives. So cut them off and keep these funds going. But you in this capitalistic society and the people is going to determine how you do. Like we can make a choice with our wallets. And so the choice is, oh, you don't support us? Cool. We won't support you. And now you got CEOs getting fired. You got people just, and this is all tying into leadership. Like, as the leader, you're supposed to be the mouthpiece for the organization.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
You're supposed to be that mouthpiece. And, hey, You, leader, you said that we were going to step away from this. And as a result of that, the shares took a huge tumble. Like, the collective is not coming back. The only thing you could do at this point to get them to come back is you're going to have to do a 180 and you're going to have to put some apology on it. Because we're really forgiving. Honestly, it's like we're not going to remember like forever. But if you put an apology on and you say, you know what? We were wrong. We made some mistakes. But we've heard you. And this is how we're going to get after it. Don't be some re-niggers. I said re-niggers. Renege. Renegger? R? Renege. I know renege is renege. But don't do that. Don't say we're going to give something and then take it back. Don't do that. And that's what they did. And they said, cool, keep it. But you won't get any more of our dollars. So, but anyway, leadership is important. I don't know how the military is going to do with leaders. I can tell you this process that we have going right now, like who's the smartest and who got distinguished graduate, who wrote the best papers. That's what it boils down to. Who was liked most by their peers. The crazy thing is like my this how the line switches, like the line moves. So in squadron officer school, it is a popularity contest, and you get ranked by your peers. You have a peer ranking and you have an instructor ranking. That peer ranking says of the 15 people in this class, not including yourself, you were ranked the number one student. And typically, the ones that get distinguished graduate are the ones that are ranked either first place, second place, or third place. A lot of times, and here's how I said like the social engineering like the subjectivity comes into place. Um, I I had a class where I had several classmates that had three of their students or two of their students get recognized as distinguished graduates. Typically, it's like one person in your class will be a distinguished graduate. And I didn't get any. And I was like, man, did I did I do something wrong? And they tell you, oh no, it's not you, it's how the system and you know they earn everything. You don't give it to them, they earn it. Like, okay, all right, I hear what you're saying, but the problem is people are running this system. So that's absolutely who's giving them distinguished graduate. It's the people. And so I knew that there was some code that I just didn't understand. And so I did a little test. In that next test, I ended up having three distinguished graduates. So I was like, aha, there it is. Got it. I understand what you got to do. I understand what not to do. And so I adjusted. That's social engineering, right? But that's how the system is. That's how it was set up. We just run around in the system. Do I think the people that ended up being selected for distinguished graduate should have been selected? I would say two of the three, yes. We had an international officer who, while I thought he was great, his peers didn't think he was great. I literally thought that student was probably one of my best students, the international officer. But the students did not rank them high. They ranked him like number 8 or something. And I was like, he was number 3 in my mind. Number 2, number 3. Just because every time there came something with problem solving, he was my guy. He was going to solve that problem with the unit. He was just a great student. Pleasure to be around, pleasure to work with. But yeah, it ended up. I think still overall because of where the peers. So this is me talking out of both sides of my neck. On one regard, peers, what peers say shouldn't necessarily matter, but it does because there's a percentage. Like it's a formula that if a percentage of people think this person didn't do well, if you think they did do well, your percentage counts a little higher than what the students rank them, but is this counterbalance. And so you have to understand that all of those students are competing against the rest of the students in the school. It's not just the top 10% of your class, it's the top 10% of the school overall. And so one time I had 0 distinguished graduates, and I felt like my student that I selected as the number one was I'd put that student up against anybody in the class because I thought that he was an outstanding leader, but didn't get anything. And it made me feel bad because it's like, no, you're good. I don't know, and I can't tell you why you didn't get selected. You was my guy, but they didn't select you, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was something that I did or didn't do, but I don't know. I feel like those types of systems, like when people run those systems, there's bias. There's an opportunity for bias. And when you have an opportunity for bias, you have an opportunity to hold people out of that process. And you have an opportunity to maybe overstack the deck with others, if that makes sense. But anyway, I've been on here for an hour, and I got 0 people in here in the room right now because my stupid phone the battery ran out, and it overheated. And people don't really talking about a lot of what I be talking about. But a lot of times, I honestly could not care less because I'm putting my thoughts together and I'm refining. Every time I listen to myself, I was like, that maybe didn't come off as clear, or maybe this could be perceived this way. I'm giving myself feedback. So I don't know. The live stream started off being about like leadership, but honestly, it could have very well been about feedback. It probably was more about feedback. Anyway, I'm off the clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and clock out and stop talking about leadership. Y'all be blessed.